Resolute Exposure is a social media platform. Almost all content on Resolute Exposure is created by citizen journalists. I share content created by citizen journalists who I believe to be the best at finding facts buried deep into the abyss, or outlets who I believe to be best for verifiable information. We have to operate within their system, and we only have the information that they allow us to have. These citizen journalists who nerd out on fact-finding missions and then add their opinion to better inform me to make the best choice for me in this war of narratives is Resolute. This information war is a battle for your mind and ultimately compliance. While mainstream media dismisses social platforms as mere echo chambers for fake news, independent spaces like this prove that shared content and live dialogue actually foster deeper critical thinking. So, I am excited to share the content in hopes you'll turn off mainstream media, who I believe is just a version of entertainment. So again, welcome to Resolute Exposure.
There are many people in the world who really don't understand. Freedom has many difficulties, but we have never had to put a wall up to keep our people in. Freedom is indivisible. And when one man is enslaved, all are not free.
Modern war has become a struggle for men's minds as well as for their bodies. Today we face an enemy who spends enormous sums of money and manpower all over the globe in an attempt to subvert the thinking of the people of the free world, to confuse, divide, and ultimately to subjugate.
It is a contest unlike any we have ever faced in our history as a nation.
Contest for the minds and hearts of people around the world, all people.
When power corrupts, poetry cleanses. We must never forget that art is not a form of propaganda. It is a form of truth.
Psychologists find that control of emotions can be gained by understanding the stimulus-response pattern. Many everyday things become associated with these primary stimuli, partly by a process called conditioning.
It's a strange, shadowy world. The doctored photograph, the misquotation, the insinuation, and the lie.
I think of fire in connection with emotion. Cause, effect.
You've got to get a hold of yourself.
So we have to work together. You have to help.
We'll light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world.
Yes, in modern warfare, our military leaders are finding that words and ideas are highly effective weapons.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of the host, producers, or any affiliated organization. This podcast may include sensitive discussion related to topics such as child protection, abuse, and criminal behavior. The content is intended for informational, educational, and awareness purposes only, does not constitute legal, medical, or professional advice. Any reference to individuals, cases, or events are based on personal perspective, professional experience, or publicly available information and should not be interpreted as statements of fact regarding any specific person or situation. The host, speakers, and producers disclaim any liability for actions taken by listeners based on the content of this podcast. Listeners are encouraged to seek qualified professional guidance for their specific circumstances. Listeners' discretion is advised. All individuals are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. All right. Welcome to Tuesday night's Blount County Breakdown. How is everybody this evening?
Doing great, man. How about yourself?
Beautiful.
Good. So, looks like we got a few on Facebook and 9 on Rumble and a couple on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Hello to everybody in the chat. If you got something to comment about, there's a lot to talk about. I guess we got a few things we want to talk about as far as our stuff goes with the county. But so how has everybody been? It's been a week, man. A lot's gone on.
Been busy with work, boy, and it's been hot and humid.
Yeah, it's been humid for sure. Yeah. My views recorded here belong to me and me alone. Scrappy Dog's putting a disclaimer in the comments. Did you see that already? Wonder what he wants to talk about. Oh my
Is he going to teleport in?
I don't know. I didn't send him a link. We probably could have. I never thought about it tonight.
Yeah, get his little ass in here.
Oh shit! You want to come on the show, Scrappy?
That's why I sent you.
Crystal won't be on the show tonight. I think Crystal's gonna come on every other week until the pregnancy is finished, and she'll probably take a little bit of time from that. She may find herself maybe not even doing once every other week the closer she gets to that. So just know that we see you out there, Crystal. We can't wait for this to finally come to an end for you, so you can be on here consistently. And also, I met a gentleman that does. So it's not Blount County, but it is Blount County. It pertains to CBD shops and stuff like that. And may have a guy that comes on that knows quite a bit about the CBD industry, the battle that's ahead for the industry that he's involved in, and the legislators up there. His opinion is that they're trying to liquefy everything, so it turns into it goes through the ABC, whatever that is, the alcohol,
tobacco, firearms.
No, that's ATF. No, this is ABC, like alcohol. I forget what it stands for exactly. The same people that issue license for people so they can serve liquor and stuff like that. But
sure,
they're the ones that are involved in this all of a sudden because their sales on their products are down due to CBD. He seems to think it's more of like a money grab where they're trying to,
I do not doubt that.
Corporatize it to a point where it makes it hard for them, because come July 1st, that whether you agree with marijuana or CBD or anything like that, come July 1st, that changes that in the as far as whatever laws that they passed. I guess when it comes to what the Delta 8, 9, or whatever the crap that stuff is, or how much THC is allowed to be in something or not, or whatever. But anyway, I told him it'd be an interesting topic. He comes on and being that he's directly involved in it, it's his job.
Yeah.
And so he is going. I don't know if he's going to go to Nashville, but he wants to voice his opinion. You know what I mean? So I told him.
Big Pharma is chomping at the bit to license it, and this certificate, that certificate, be in control of everything, inspections, and money.
Exactly.
And then you got a whole nother industry too that nobody thinks about. like textiles, clothing, flooring. They make some amazing flooring out of hemp, dude, out of the stalks and stuff like bamboo.
Yeah. So right here it is. It's because he gave me the
Okay.
gave me the paper. So Tennessee Alcohol Beverage Commission, ABC, appeared before the Legislative Government Operations Committee in May of 26 to finalize the rules of the industry. Tennessee put the competition in control. Tennessee is forcing the hemp industry into an alcohol-style regulatory system, but the rollout has been rushed and poorly executed. The liquor industry had decades to develop its laws, licensing, three-tier distribution systems and enforcement structure. Hemp businesses are being asked to adapt in months. Representative Andrew Farmer, Republican of Sevierville, the boy behind the Senate bill 1603, is our number one problem.
All right, then.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting as hell. So he gave me his email, and I think we'll probably do a practice. I think he's like everybody else, they're a little leery about it in the beginning, but I think once he sees, what we're doing, then, I could probably do that for a little while, so I think everybody thinks we're just going to attack them. And the reason they think we're going to attack them, because there's a group of people out there whose names I won't say that put out liars. Put the word out that we're just, this mean group of guys that are going to, try to smear their names or whatever. And so we just talk about what the community's talking about. So, if you voted against something that they didn't want you to vote against, well, that's what the community wants to talk about. And so that's what the show's all about. Blount County Breakdown. It's about the institutional garbage that comes out of this county. You know what I mean? So, and it's weird that we live in a county that is so, I don't know. I feel like we're part of, I don't know the right word. I could say a lot of things, but I'm choosing not to say it. But I feel like, oh shit, I'll just shut up. You know what I mean? And just, you go ahead and say it. Let's see. Okay, I'm in here now and found it. Ford Fan 365. Thank you. Go ahead, Jason.
No, I said text me what you're wanting to say, and I'll say it.
I just meant that you text what I want to say. Frankie says, I can't find you live on Rumble. I signed in and everything. You got to find Resolute Exposure, not so Resolute Exposure, guys, just to give everybody it's just pretend it's like Channel 10, and you can have 24 1-hour shows that are different. So Resolute Exposure is a channel on Rumble, and on that channel it has 2 shows, sometimes 3 depending on what it is, but it would be the show on Tuesday night, which is this one, Blount County Breakdown, and then the other show on Thursday, which is Caught Up, but it's on the Resolute Exposure channel. Same thing with YouTube. YouTube has Resolute Exposure as a channel, and on that channel it has the 2 shows. So, you know what I mean? So, and that's how you find it. It's not Caught Up, and it's not Blount County Breakdown on Rumble. It's Resolute Exposure the same way it is on YouTube, so you can find it that way and get it. But guys, it's on YouTube as well. So if you get on YouTube, you can find it live there at Resolute Exposure, and then you can comment in there, because if you already have an account and you're verified, however they do that, then it shows up. YouTube and Rumble shows up on my computer screen, Robert's computer screen. Does it show up on yours, Jason? Can you see the comments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So YouTube shows up in those comments too, but Facebook is separate for whatever damn reason. You actually have to have. Can you see them, Robert? The comments, you actually pull it up too. So I do too. Yeah. I got it over here on the monitor. Crystal's in there. Danny look at there. People on the porch is in there. Ed's in there. Frankie's in there. Appreciate all you guys. And since there's so many people, oh, Frankie Woody is Ford Fan 365. Sweet. Oh, he's bashing me. Well, guess what?
Just so you know who's bashing.
Just so I know who's bashing me. So now I'm going to whore for likes. So if you guys would, like Rumble and then like Facebook, or dislike it, because it's all about analytics. You know what I mean? So even if you dislike it, it moves us up or down or whatever. So, and it's funny because you know, I don't ask for anything. I don't ask for money. I don't ask for, I didn't ask people to be nice or censor what they say. I only ask for likes.
I'll take some money.
No support, because we have no special interest. We are equal across the board with everybody. You're either good one week or bad one week. Matters not to us. It just depends on how you vote or what you say. So I guess let's get into some stuff. So should we talk about the investigation that's going on in Blount County Sheriff's Department? Should we talk about Louisville Townsend? Should we talk about the AI data center, which is still, for the life of me, this is episode number 12, right? And so we've been talking about the AI data center since episode 1. And we have watched the commissioners talk about how it was a rumor, it didn't exist, and now it's on the agenda. I've had people comment to me and talk about how I was just running my mouth. It didn't have a whole lot to it. And guess what? So since we're talking about the AI data center, I'll run with that. What do you think, Robert?
Right, go.
So,
People said you run your mouth about the data centers?
I was running my mouth. I was not telling the truth. I was spreading stuff. I was creating division, this, that, and the other, and so on and so forth. And I mean, if that's what this podcast has to do is make people look at things differently than what they were previously, well, then that's exactly what we're supposed to do. So right here, let's talk
shouldn't
about
be BS just because we knew it before they did.
Well, remember it was a mock. We talked about, remember I said we should put it down there by Lower Chilhowie. Look, it's just hypothetical. Remember we talked about it being hypothetical. Is it hypothetical, guys?
Then we talked it right up, I think.
I mean, is it hypothetical? So exactly, Robert, I agree with you 100%. So did we run our mouths and tell a lie? No, I don't think so.
From what Kevin J. McNeil was saying, it looks like Maryville's trying to get in on the action now too.
So
let's go over with some money.
Let's go over the resolution real quick, because I have a question about that. Nick Bright got in the conversation with. We'll share this real quick because I know what it does to all of us. I wonder if it does it better this way. That probably is worse. I don't know. Maybe not. It says, sponsored by Jared Anderson and Nick Bright, a resolution of Blount County Commission providing for the regulatory of a data center and cryptocurrency mining. So I ask again, was it a rumor? Is Jared and Nick Bright proposing a resolution?
For a rumor?
For a rumor. Right. I mean, I had all of them at one point or another, maybe not all of them, but I had 3 or 4 of them on there from the commissioners that said, hey, guys, it's a rumor, this, that, and the other. And guess what? Now it's on the damn agenda for the Blount County Commission. It's a resolution. So I'll pull it back up here again. It says, whereas the Blount County Board of Commissions, who's that? There's a few people on the 21-member board that publicly came out and said this was a rumor. And now it says, whereas the Blount County Board of Commissions, no longer a rumor, guys, not hypothetical, has the authority to adopt and arm zoning regulations for the unincorporated territory of Blount County in accordance with applicable Tennessee law. And whereas the Board of Commission, again, the Board of Commissions, recognizes that the data center may have substantial impacts on surrounding properties. Is that a rumor? I'm asking the 21 commissioners, with exception to maybe one. Is that a rumor? Because, see, what's coming up on Thursday night is, I know for a fact there's probably 5 no votes, right? And I'll leave their names out of it because some of them have publicly already said it. But there's also no votes for the ones that aren't going to show up. And I know there's going to be a few that are not going to be there. Some are even on vacation, right? So they're an automatic no vote. So there's a good possibility that if this stays on the agenda in the workshop or whatever it's called, that it may get enough votes, which would have to be more than 11, right, Robert and Jason?
11 or more.
11 or
Yeah.
more. Okay. I mean, it's possible
Yeah.
that it could be a no vote. So, but my question is, why have this on the agenda now? Let's not wait till after the election and everybody's sworn in with this so-called this new commission. This group that came together to form this little pack that they were all going to vote for each other to make sure that when the new commission was set forth, that they would. And it may be the right thing. I don't know. I'm not saying what they did was wrong. I'm not saying what they did was right. I'm trying to be impartial, but I'm hearing that if they'll just quit putting crap on the agenda until the new commission gets in, and then some of these things will change differently. That means if we're believing that Jared Anderson beats the Democrat for mayor, then he'll take that spot. I think they're wanting Nick Bright to be what is that? What is that guy that's over the commission?
The chair.
The chair. The chairs. So they're already talking. So let's quit putting new stuff on the agenda and let's just deal with only the essential things right now, and nothing more. And we'll wait for the new commission to get in, and we'll work on things accordingly. But I'll go back to what it says. Whereas the Board of Commissions, and you guys can find this on Facebook. You probably find it on the Blount County Commission Board of whatever. You know what I mean? Further recognizes that data center and cryptocurrency mining. Oh, my bad. Data centers may have substantial impact on surrounding properties, public infrastructures, electrical demand, water demand, stormwater management, noise, lighting, land use compatibility, and the general welfare of the community. Now, did we not talk for weeks about the South Plant being that spot that the CEO of Alcoa, Oblinger, was already in discussions with developers, because there's 10 other sites throughout the country that he's trying to do the same thing for, and that the South Plant was already set up for certain things. Now, I know that Nick said in a comment on Kevin J. McNeil's thing where he said, show me a piece of property that doesn't fit. So I'm not saying that the South Plant fits that criteria, but we've talked about it enough. It sort of fits that criteria. You know what I mean? So it says the Board of Commissions further recognize that the data centers and cryptocurrency mining facilities. Okay, so that's new. Do we know anything about a cryptocurrency mining facility that's coming on top of? We already got the solar panel farm, right? Go ahead, Robert.
They've been popping up quickly for years. There's my sister has a farm up in Crossville, and probably about 500-600 yards away from her, there's a Bitcoin crypto mining farm, and it sounds like a dang jet plane. It's a warehouse, dude, and one side of the warehouse is just a wall of fans instead of a regular wall. It's all fans. It's insane.
What does that mean?
But yeah, those are very popular.
What does that mean? Crypto mining? What is like mining down in the dirt?
So they basically have a warehouse full of computer setups with graphics cards, and they're solving complex problems on the blockchain. Like when people buy, sell, they use Bitcoin in transactions, because you can buy a lot of stuff with Bitcoin now.
Right. Yeah, you can.
They sell it out of market, trade it. For each one of those transactions, it has to be verified by nodes.
Right.
So they run nodes and they solve these problems. And in reward for verifying that transaction, they get a tiny little piece of the pie. So if you got a whole warehouse with thousands of them in there, and they're all getting tiny pieces of the pie, and one Bitcoin's worth $73,000.
Yeah, it's up there right now. Yeah. So I got like a little piece of it. You know what I mean? Where it goes into the Bitcoin, because I really think in the future it may be because, like you said, you can already purchase stuff. I mean, and then what I understand about Bitcoin is it's completely transparent. Everybody sees across the spectrum the transactions. And I do not know anything about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or anything. So as far as that goes,
Bitcoin's on its own blockchain. There's I think around 16,000 different blockchains now, because like Bitcoin's a blockchain, Ethereum, BNB, Solana, and it just goes on and on and on forever. Because once you deploy these programs, once you deploy a new cryptocurrency, it is out there forever. It does not matter what it does, if people buy it, if it takes off, if it don't take off, it's out there forever. As long as as long as the server is running, that they let it loose on.
Yes. So, without knowing a ton, guys, we would encourage you to look it up. I'm not familiar with it, but they did put it in this resolution. So, it says cryptocurrency mining facilities and distinct and intensive land uses, which should be specifically defined and heavily regulated within the Blount County zoning ordinances, and that the Blount County Board of Commissioners meeting in regular session this 18th day of June, funny because it was just a rumor, hereby expresses our intent to heavily regulate AI data centers, cryptocurrency mining facilities under the zoning ordinance of Blount County, and requests that planning commissions prepare appropriate amendments to the zoning ordinances that add definition to the zoning ordinance, and further suggest that the most restrictive legal means be used to regulate such land use, including the following. 1, allowing such uses only in industrial zone and only as a special exception. And in quotes, it says, and therefore, not quotes, my bad, it's in parentheses, and therefore requiring the approval of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Okay, allowing such uses only in industrial zone. Let me ask you something. Is the South Plant considered an industrial zone? Does anybody know off the top of their head? Does anybody know in the chat? I want to say that it is, because it was a smelting. It was a smelter.
Right.
At one time, it was the world's largest smelter, and we know that it already has power and water there. So we also know that if we go to the next one, number 2, requiring that such use cannot be located adjacent or within 5,000 feet from any suburbanizing R1, R2, or RAC zoning district, and that such use may not be adjacent to or within 5,000 feet of any residential dwelling, school, or church. Is the AI or is the South Plant anywhere near any of these things? And I feel like the school is far away.
That's almost a mile, 5,000 feet, 5,250 feet, something like that. It's a mile.
So is Alcoa closer than that? Than a mile? It's probably closer, ain't it?
To the school, that would be close. The school may be a little bit further away. I'm just saying that's less than a mile away.
Right. So you got Black Horse Pub and Brewery. Then you got the church right there across from it. Of course, it's a little bit distance down the road. But then you got all that residential neighborhood right there, right? So
it's residential.
So does this mean that automatically removes, because this is about Blount County. As far as I'm concerned, Alcoa, Maryville, Wallen, Louisville, Townsend, they're all in Blount County. Go ahead.
I think first what we got to figure out is up at the very top, it says the Blount County Board of Commissioners has authority to adopt and amend zoning regulations for the unincorporated territory of Blount County. So we need to know what unincorporated territory means or refers to.
Again, like I said,
then are they, is that talking about they can make resolutions within all these different cities and towns we have, Louisville, Alcoa, Maryville, Townsend?
Well, let me ask, can the Alcoa City Board tell Blount County Commission Board to Blount County Commissioners, Alcoa Commissioners, right? Alcoa has a commissioners, right? So can they tell Blount County, council, whatever fancy word you want to put on it, can they say that we make these issues because it's in the city of Alcoa, so the county has no, because I've already been told by the commissioners, you have to go to the city of Alcoa meeting because we have no control over that. But we all know that the infrastructure for that piece of property runs through the county, into the city of Maryville, into the city of Alcoa. So, because when Nick said, show me a location that this resolution stops at from, it just made me wonder about the South plant. So, right now, number 3 says requiring that any sound emitted from the operation is measured at the property lines shall not exceed 60 decibels, and requiring all such other measures as may ensure the quality of life and well-being of the citizens of Blount County. Look, it sounds good. It really does. Okay. I'm not saying anything, and it's something. So something is better than nothing, right? You know what I mean? But it just makes
I would not call it heavily regulated, though.
Right. Well, in the county, perhaps. Again,
Maybe.
you know,
I've seen where some other county commissions have done things like they'll put out a resolution for, a certain set of rules for AI data centers, and then they'll make it for data centers between, I don't know, what was it I was reading, maybe whatever the set amount of wattage was. Like, for example, say it was all these rules applied to data centers in between 20 and 50 gigawatts or whatever it is. Well, most data centers ain't even that low. They're higher than that. So the rules wouldn't even apply to them,
Gigawatts.
So
if that makes sense.
The other thing is, do these resolutions stay in Blount County, or do they get passed up to Nashville? Crystal made the point that the resolutions, sometimes the resolutions, are they even effective? Because we saw what happened with Resolution 2505014, which was nothing, and that was the resolution that had to deal with Dalton over was it his education, being able to teach continuously.
Yeah,
and then Mikey says, remember, resolutions are made to be amended. So, and so then you got Danny says that where he's in Nashville, they're trying to put one right next to the zoo, and people are mad. 300,000 signed a petition so far. So it's several locations in the whole state's what he's saying. And then Reno is maybe all the noise is the demons screaming as they come out through the portal. That's maybe there's some truth in that.
That's great.
And then Danny says if we hadn't become so dependent on computers and such, then AI, there wouldn't be a need for such data centers. It's unfortunate, which is true because look, we have the clouds and all that stuff. Everything I do here, I mean, it's being saved somewhere in the cloud, which requires a data center to do it. So I'm as much part of the problem. I'm complaining about trying to stop the problem. I'm only trying to stop it in my community. Stick it in the desert, or as a matter of fact, stick them in space. I mean, I know people think stuff is conspiracy theories, but I know several Air Force guys now that talk about that's as realistic as it gets. That they can make these data centers, they can cool them, they can do all these things, and they're in space. Mm-hmm. And they're not on our soil. They're not contaminating anything here. I don't know what the long-term effects are in space. And since I'm never going, and I only believe that space exists because a school teacher in Heritage and other places told me that was real, and a book that they wrote claimed that it was. But I won't argue with anybody. So if that is real, like they say, we'll stick that darn thing up there in space. I'm frozen. There we are. And I thought maybe they were cutting me off. Somebody was trying to stop.
We need one of them dang AI data centers down the road so this won't be happening right here. We'll have more gigawatts.
Be cooking,
yeah. So, but I guess, again, I'm going back to the South plant because we did the research. We know the facts that location is set up for 10, what did they say, 100,000 square foot buildings, 10 of them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Oblinger's already set it in motion. He's already talked to developers, or he's working. The words were he was working with developers. That's not like, some meeting. All these things were already done in secret way back when, and now it's all coming to fruition. So So yeah,
and like I said, dude, Maryville's trying to get a piece of the action now. So Maryville is wanting to how did they word it? They're wanting to get money and go in with it on Alcoa or something like that, buy a piece of the pie. I'm trying to see if I can find it right here.
So a lot's going on in the chat, a lot of comments. Let's see, Edwin, lyrics are rolling out of his head. I'm on
and the Pillissippi Parkway extension is coming back strong.
So that was the other thing I wanted to talk about, because I wanted to talk about. Do you want us to transition into that, Robert, and then you can pull up the couple things you want, or was that part of what you had too?
Yeah, dude, it's all good.
It's all good. What about you?
I got one thing.
Jace. Go, Jace.
I read on the news. I read that the AI data centers across the country, one of the main places that they look for are old smelting places.
We know this. Yeah. Remember?
Yeah.
And what do we got? We got the world's largest smelter in Alcoa. Now, I don't know if it's still the world's largest, but for its time back in its day, it was once the world's largest, and it has a direct pipeline to what it said, Little Pigeon River. Am I saying that right? Or is it okay? And the amount of power that's already there available, it's already zoned for industrial. So with these resolutions that came in this thing with Jared Anderson and Nick Bright, again, I'm not saying anything bad about what they're doing. They're doing something, so that's a positive. Okay.
I found it.
Go ahead.
Check this out. It says, so the Maryville, and this is something written up by Kevin J. McNeil, says South Plant razzmatazz is going down now. The Maryville government is placing your taxpayer dollars deep inside the budget to buy the South Plant. This is happening right now. This was June 2nd. Difficult for 99% of the taxpayers to view. Maryville City Councilors know of taxpayer funding in the 6-year capital outlay budget to pay for the Maryville share of the Blount County Industrial Board's $20 to $24 million Alcoa Business Park LLC South Plant project.
Okay, so
there is no legitimate reason for our local governments to loan money to the Blount IDB to buy the property. Let the Blount IDB find its own source of funding if it's such a good deal. This plan commits $1.2 million a year, totaling $6 million of Maryville taxpayer money just to pay off the debt that the city is taking on. This is debt servicing that should belong to the Blount Industrial Board, not the taxpayers. Our elected officials must tell the Blount IDB to look elsewhere for money. We must stop funding reckless growth and enriching the local wealthy at taxpayers' expense. The city of Alcoa and Blount County will likely put their share of this deal's funding on their respective agendas in the next few days. And that, like I said, that was June 2nd. I suspect they too will be dishing out $6 million or more. Each Maryville and the county should be not in the deal at all. And the city of Alcoa doesn't have the cash flow to make the deal happen without help. So it sounds like Maryville, Alcoa, Blount County got something cooking with the IDB to start a business.
Okay, so again, now here you go. Here's another rabbit hole I keep talking. He's such a great guy. Is it Brian Daniels? And is that Blount Partnership?
They just did a video the other day about they don't want it.
Okay. So, man,
I think the IDB and Blount Partnerships too.
I know that, but my point is, it goes all the way back to Brian Daniels and the Blount Partnership. It goes all the way back to I saw something, was it 2011 or something like that, when actually Kevin J. McNeil, it says, I got the article, hang on. Anyway, if you look at the one where it says quick action by sponsoring Commissioners Jared Anderson and Nick Bright, thank you for submitting the AI data center resolution so quickly. This was Kevin J. McNeil. In this comment section, you got Misty Dawn Davis, you got Nick Bright, and you got Jared Anderson. All three commissioners, one probably Mayor, in this thread right here, commenting, and the one that got me the most was, if I can pull it up right here. Let's see. Nick Bright says, "Show me on a map a spot in this county that would comply with these requirements." It doesn't exist. So Alcoa is not considered the county. So he might be right that there is nothing in the county that does, but the city of Alcoa has it. It does exist. And if this resolution doesn't affect the city of Alcoa, then it doesn't matter if it's less than a mile or a mile from the high school, if it's next to Black Horse Pub and Brewery, if it's just up the road from a church, or if it's just down the road from that neighborhood, which is the Alcoa right there, Dollar General, on down to the new entertainment district they got going on with the Chop House and all that crap down in that area.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Nick, you might be right. There may not be a location in the county that you guys did that, but the city of Alcoa obviously has that.
Here we go. Okay, so unincorporated property, which is what it says at the beginning of that resolution. An unincorporated property is a parcel of land that lies outside the official boundaries of any incorporated city or town. So that resolution would apply to just Blount County property and not towns in Alcoa, Maryville, Louisville, Friendsville, anywhere else.
Just Blount County property.
Yes.
See? So it when you start digging deep and you see this, yes, they're doing something, but it's not going to slow down what's going on in Alcoa. It appears to me, again, we started this out on episode 1 as a hypothetical. It's no longer a hypothetical, no longer rumors. You know, you got everybody in the damn state talking about it. So yeah.
Made us not lie.
And what has to happen for that resolution for that to be set in stone? You know, because we know we tracked the one resolution to Nashville, and nobody could do anything.
Dead on its face. Yep.
So that's this one being just for county rules. Is that something? Who puts that into effect? Does it go into effect? Does somebody have to vote on that? Then
I don't know
what happens with it. Where does it go?
Well, wasn't it Moon and Stinnett and them that were in charge of, or it was passed off to them, or am I just talking nonsense?
For
the resolution for the Dalton
went
thing.
to them. I mean, yeah, it went to them, but it didn't turn into anything.
Yeah, it went to them, but we got people called and asked questions, and it was they couldn't get nobody to co-sponsor. You have to have 2 sponsors. So you got one, the old game. Well, yeah, I'll do it, but I can't get nobody to do it with me.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, Stinnett told me that they passed what the DA told them to do.
Who's DA? Our DA?
Yeah, he just said DA.
See, that's a dumbass. DA. Yeah, they just did what the dumbass told them to do. The DA. So if we're going to go off of acronyms and stuff like that, you know what I mean. So it doesn't matter that Maryville and Alcoa is in Blount County. According to what we're reading, Woody, it sounds like that. We're not experts on it, but we're just trying to share, the facts that are being thrown at us, just the information that we have, and according to what we found.
I'm sure Maryville and Alcoa and all the rest of them, I'm sure they're incorporated.
And you just read that Maryville.
Yeah.
So
I was told that
unincorporated land is outside the official boundaries of any incorporated city or town. So yeah, it's not inside the boundaries of city or town.
So Nick is right by what he says, but he can't speak for the city of Maryville or the city of Alcoa. And then you just read where it said the city of Maricola, the city of Maryville. The city of Maryville was going to pony up some money. I mean, isn't that how you read that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so because the city of Alcoa couldn't afford it, if that's how that was worded. So, all right,
Not by themselves.
they're
Yeah.
not by themselves. Yeah. So, well, so let's go on to the PPE thing, right? Let me see if I can't share this real quick. Yeah, that's it. We'll
But
share it.
I was I was told that the alcohol plant didn't have exactly there wasn't there wasn't the amount of power they needed enough. They would have to come up with some more for the data center.
So the thing is, when they propose that they're going to pay for whatever upgrade that the infrastructure needs because that's a part of what Tennessee state legislation already passed. So they have to follow that, I think, come July 1st. So when that happens, that's cost effective because you already got 2/3 of the power and 2/3 of the water already there. So what more
Right.
do you need? A little portable nuclear facility station right beside it to
I
finish
don't know.
generating. And see, again, I'm not against some of that stuff, but I just don't want it in my community. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
So Kevin,
What
this
if
was
they
5.
do? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm waiting on.
I was just going on to the PPE thing. It says Kevin McNeil, no local money will be used for the Pellissippi Parkway extension. And I'll take us off the screen so that I'll read it. It says at an anti PPE crowd Blount County Commission meeting on October 20th, 2011. October 20th, 2011. Crowded commission meeting. Many voiced opposition to the PPE. So what year is this now? 2026. So with 15 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
With only one person speaking in favor. One person. Brian Daniels, CEO of Blount County or Blount Industrial Board. Mr. Daniels' main point spoken to the commissioners was that no local funds would be needed as the federal government would cover the cost. In reality, Daniel is now requesting that Maryville, Alcoa, Blount County taxpayers contribute to the $10,970,000 in cash to donate $6,029,700 worth of land previously bought for the failed Pellissippi Place technology projects. For that venture, taxpayers loaned $20 million to the IDB, which is yet to be paid. So, Brian, that's the Industrial Developmental Board, right?
Yep.
So we loaned them $20 million and they still owe us money. I can't buy a house with credit like that. I can't buy a car. Hell, I can't even get a damn credit card with that type of credit like that. They're going to look at my history and go, well, you're $20 million in debt and you're like years behind on your first payment.
And here they are looking at trying to round up another 24 million for a whole nother separate venture.
Right. So it says Daniels want Mayor Mitchell to sign a contract that does not promise a highway. It promises nothing of value. Wait, did I say it? Yeah, okay. The construction start date still sits out tentatively till 2036, and we all know that the Tennessee Department of Transportation performance when it comes to the slips, Alcoa Highway. The only thing that is being accomplished by Mayor Mitchell signing the contract is a pool of our money will be strategically directed to a certain landowners as of right-of-way payments using local money. So when we talk about the meeting that's coming up with the PPE, the Pellissippi Parkway extension, that shit was done years ago. You're not going to stop it. It's probably going to run right through the land that we've been talking about. It's going to make its way to 321. It's going to get itself in Kensington Place and all that. And any farm along the way that's in the way is going to be gone. You might as well get that wrapped around your head. It's moving on. Doesn't matter what we do with the commission. We might be able to stall it for a little while, but it's going to happen. It's because it's already happened long before it's ever made it to this part right here. So what they're asking for in this upcoming meeting is for the taxpayers to fund the right-of-way when the state was already supposed to. It says the only thing that's being accomplished is that they're signing a contract is a pool for our money that will be strategically directed to certain landowners as right-of-way payments using local money. And what about the land that's owned by the IDB? So we gave it to them. The taxpayers paid for it. And now they're going to get paid for it by the right-of-way, again, from the taxpayers? Am I saying that correctly? That sound like some shit to you guys?
It sounds fucking crazy, but I
Sounds very
think
ludicrous.
that's what it is.
Lucrative. That's like extortion
Yeah,
almost.
it sounds like some shit out of a movie, dude.
I mean, we can't look. We're not making this up, but it sure sounds like we're making this up. By the way, this is a rumor. Just so you know, they really don't want $10 million of your tax-paying money on top of another $6 million worth of donated property that the IDB owns that you gave to them already. Just a rumor. Just a rumor. Getting ahead of all the commissioners. Just a rumor. Actually, it's not. This is up on the agenda. You know what I mean? So it says recent Tennessee DOT long-range plans continue to show that the state and federal funding is far short of the needed capital commitment. Why tie up local tax funds that could be used for local civic projects? Total estimate costs for this project. Robert, why don't you say the magic number? Because when you said it, I was like, that's astronomical. $350 million.
Yeah.
That's almost that sounds bad enough, but when you put it in this perspective, almost $500 million.
Okay, so let's talk about Blount. Let's talk about Blount County's GDP, gross domestic product, right? How much do you think the county makes in taxes a year? I know we talked about this before. Was it in the 40 millions, maybe a little lower?
I was thinking around 70.
So 70 million. I was on the low end side of things, but maybe okay.
Don't quote me on that.
That's
everybody.
fine. We can be hypothetical. It's only a rumor, guys.
Yeah.
Right. So to come up with 350 million, how many years do you think that takes of every single penny of the GDP that goes into the county?
And we're still in debt by 80 million or something like that.
Again, you can't run your household like that.
Budget.
No, you can't run a business like that. No one will do business with you like that. Like some type of financial advisor, you needed a loan, you needed some sort of help with capital or something like that, and you came to them with this kind of garbage, you ain't getting nothing. Nothing. Not a thing. And then to renege on a loan from 2011, $20 million. I don't know who's the president of the IDB. If somebody could share that would be great. Maybe we ought to be asking him in emails or her or whatever pronoun they use. I don't know. Maybe they use one. But this is ridiculous. So it says right away phase federal funding is 17 million plus. Local dollars and matches, 22,500,000. Total commitment via TIP right away only 40 million plus. TDOT committed separate from TIP is $30 million. Total committed all sources about 70 million plus. The remaining unfunded gap is $350 million. And where do you think that money's coming from, people? Property taxes. Why do you think the state of Tennessee keeps raising our property taxes? The appraisal. And then we got to hear things about, well, the guy that's over the property assessor here in Blount, he's got to do it. He's got to follow the law. The state of Tennessee sent that down based on whatever commercial and tourism and whatever that raised. Some people got their property taxes doubled. Right? They got to pay for this somehow, right? A house that I built in late 1996 for under $200,000 is near $500,000 right now. It's not worth the square footage price that they're asking for it, but it's being paid for in this place. Right? It's being paid for. They're coming from out of state. They're buying that stuff up, right? So, it just.
What
and
about,
I know that. Go ahead, Jason.
The price that they're saying that it is that's in 2026 dollars in 10 years when they say they're going to start working on it, what's the inflation rate going to bring it on up more to?
Well, if we had a good highway superintendent, Matt Snow, right in Canada, he could probably tell us what that was. But I doubt it you're going to get it from Jeff Hedrick. If you start asking big questions like that, it's probably a blank face. And I don't know anything about him.
This talking about Pellissippi Extension, this June 11th county commission meeting.
Which one?
Looks like June 11th.
Yeah, but which one?
2 days. Well, there's at 5 o'clock. It's big one. It's a busy one for sure. So at 5 o'clock, got the budget public hearing, and that's for year 2027. At 5:15 goes on to the Pellissippi Parkway extension at the budget committee. 5:45 is the comprehensive plan public hearing, and then 6 p.m. is the Pellissippi Parkway extension commission workshop. So that the same, I believe from what Kevin's saying, that same contract that Ed Mitchell stopped from going through there a few weeks back, maybe, I think this is it again. He's got another one up here that talking about it to stop it from taking taxpayer money.
Right. So
to do
right.
the driveway.
This is what that's about. Not the Pellissippi Parkway extension, about paying for the right of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
$5 million.
That's it.
Right. So, and this is why I said I know for a fact of 3 no votes that I have been told, and as many as 5. But again, not all of them are going to be there in the workshop, and so, and I think the following week's meeting. And so I was told if you're not there, that's an automatic no vote. So it may, Christina
Hello.
Delaney. No, she's gonna have to text me. She ought to know we're in the middle of the podcast. Anyway, so I'm not saying that, but that's what people need to understand. It's not about the Pellissippi Parkway extension coming out to 321 and wherever else it's going. This is about the tax dollars paying for the right of ways versus TDOT.
And also this June 11th meeting, that the vote on that is just to send it on to the commission meeting, which will be on the 18th.
Right. I'm glad you got that because it does say the agendas for June 26th, budget workshop, regular commission meeting, and all are about to be published. And he suspected, Kevin J. Thomas suspected, it was in her pocket. I got pocket called. But if you look, let me show this one more time right here. The paper, 2011, one speaker in favor, Brian Daniels. He also said that no local funds would be involved. Well, I said he's the nemesis in this county. I even went down here and said, thanks, Kevin. I'll be sure to make it a topic of conversation for Tuesday's Resolute Exposure. And it's exactly what we did. People need to know that's what this is about come Thursday. I won't be there, and we should probably watch it live or something. I won't be there because I got a date, and I don't always get to pick the days that this happens. So, and Caught Up is not going to be on Thursday. We're going to do Caught Up at 7 o'clock on Saturday because we got Monty Fritz tomorrow at 7 o'clock for Candid Conversation. And then Thursday, I'm taking the day off to go on a date. Haven't been on one in a long time. And so, and then Friday, we have a Candid Conversation with Ann. Do you know her last name off the top of your head, Robert? Anna Gibson.
Anna Gibson.
Anna Gibson from Louisville. She's going to talk about all things Louisville. And I think Catherine's going to help be with, not help her, but she's going to also be on the show with us. You know what I mean? And then Saturday, me and Scrappy Dog will get into a little bit of the Caught Up stuff. Because we did last Thursday with Heath, which was pretty good. Got a lot of traction out of that on Rumble. lot of traction from it on Facebook, and he was, it was a good conversation. I thought we talked about all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keith was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's coming up this week. We got Monty tomorrow, which is going to be amazing. So if you guys got questions that you want for Monty Fritz, just know that Donald Trump didn't endorse Marsha, whatever her last name is, and
Marsha Blackburn.
the guy that smells like a rose. He didn't endorse either one of them, and so so we get Monty Fritz, and so if you got a good question you want to ask, I'll try to get them all in. We give everybody on Candid Conversation an hour. That doesn't mean we're going to get an hour with Monty. So we'll get out as much as we can with Monty there. But he's what I was told, and at 7:30 I sent his individual a text to make sure that we were confirmed, and they said yes. But I was told he would be doing it most likely from his home, which means if he's relaxed and comfortable, then maybe he'll give us the whole hour. You know what I'm saying? So fingers crossed for sure. But it was amazing. Look, I never would have asked him if people in the comments from the podcast hadn't said to do it. You know what I mean? So I thought, what the hell? All I can do is say no. Same thing. I asked Monty. I asked Tim Burchett. Tim Burchett's crickets. I mean, crickets. No phone call, no nothing. No. I sent an email. I called his office in Blount County because somebody said, you realize he's got an office in the courthouse. So I called there, left a message, all that good stuff like that. And nothing, you know what I mean? So, but he might watch the podcast and knows that, I think he needs to take his Carhartt jacket off and hang it up and quit asking people for money on Facebook and quit sending me your garbage in the mail, because how many trees are you killing, and you're running on a campaign that says that you're going to hang pedophiles, and yet we live in a county where if you got a prominent name and you're a pedophile, you get to extra extraordinary circumstances given to you, and your buddy is wrong. So I would figure that you would try to clean up your home first. They say if you want to fix things, you start at home, right? Yeah. So Burchett, why don't you fix what's going on in your home? And then from there you could probably grow. But his whole 90 seconds up on the floor in Congress there, where he just sucking the sap off of Barong, and then he's up there for another 90 seconds talking about the NCAA gives some college baseball player another year of eligibility because 4 wasn't enough to make enough money off of his NIL. But Tim Burchett thought those things were more important than pedophiles, and the only reason he's running on pedophiles now is because it's election time. So I imagine that's why Dad Gummit won't come on my podcast. So get your car and your microphone and go cruise the damn county with Barong again. He's got a podcast called Cruising, and him and Barong, they just take a little drive and go everywhere. So Dad Gummit. So anyway, he ain't coming on the show.
Hey,
so go ahead.
When a resolution is passed, it goes straight to on the books at the Blount County Courthouse.
Okay, but so if they passed a resolution with the commissioner over the Dalton thing, then why did it have to go to legislation?
That's a good question.
Well, I think that was more of a thing like asking the state to make these laws.
So like codifying it, so to speak.
Yeah, that kind of seems like that they were requesting that some harsher laws be made.
Okay.
That makes more sense. That makes sense.
Okay.
Because they are not legislative. They are not, what do you call it?
Yeah, you said it right. They don't create laws.
Executive.
Okay.
Legislation creates the laws. Yeah. So, and no, Kim, my cat's being Have at the moment. That must be Robert's cat.
Yeah.
She said, "Where's the cat?" Because
it's singing the song of his people.
My cat is. So my son bought me a 9-foot putting green. It's in my room. It's you can't see it's on the. It's 9 feet. It's amazing, and He's laying on the damn green right now. Me and him's gonna have a talk after the show because he can't be laying on my green. He's got way too many other places to be laying. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, go ahead and hit a couple of putts while he's laying there. He'll love to chase that ball.
That's kind of funny. All right, what's next on the
That cat loves
agenda?
balls.
What's next on the agenda?
Oh, let's see. There's a TBI investigation in Alcoa.
A TBI?
It. Yep. For like a strange things on the books, maybe misappropriation of funds or something.
Oh, for Alcoa.
Right here somewhere.
That was an Alcoa thing. Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. So this was on WBIR. My dang internet, man, it is gone today. This is the headline of it. And what was the date on this? June 4th, 2026. June 4th.
You can share it, right, Robert?
Yeah.
You want to share?
Let's see. Get that there. Entire screen. I'm not leaving.
He have a date too.
There it is.
It hasn't popped up. You ought to be able to add it to the screen, right?
Oh, dang it!
Well, you did, and then it disappeared.
Yeah.
Wasn't the TBI? Wasn't the TBI called in for the quote unquote herpes ordeal?
No, I don't think about that one.
No, it's an Alcoa. Yeah. Board of Zoning Appeals to consider special exemption for 2 developments that could bring over 800 apartments to Blount County. Man. County has parameters for large apartment complexes, particularly near major roadways through the BZA, though the BZA can grant special exceptions under certain circumstances. It said Blount County Board of Zoning Appeals is set to consider special exceptions for 2 proposed housing developments. According to plans from the developers, the complexes would bring 824 apartment units to the area. The county has parameters for large apartment complexes, particularly near major roadways, though the BZA can grant special exemptions under certain circumstances. Property owner Harmony Investments LLC and developer Hill Point are proposing a 300-unit apartment complex at South Odell Road and West Lamar Alexander Parkway in Maryville, according to paperwork submitted to the BZA.
Nice.
Hill Point Vice President of External Affairs Marcus Widower said the complex would provide housing for young professionals and feature upscale living arrangements, modern appliances, and outdoor amenities for residents. Our goal is for people to have a quality place to live while also being able to save money and ultimately be able to obtain home ownership, he said. If granted special exception, Widower said the proposed development, Point Grand Maryville, would become part of the community. We do it through vertical integration, he said. We are the developer, the builder, the owner and operator. Oh, add.
Wow, so they're making all the money.
We are long-term owners. We are soup to nuts, and we want to be part of the community for the long haul. The second property under consideration is at 3652 US 411 near Clover Hill Road and Calderwood Highway. So, that's the 129 411 junction there going to the Dragon. 10 News contacted listed developer Gross Residential by phone Thursday morning and left a message, but did not receive a response as of late Thursday afternoon. The memorandum and submitted paperwork shows plans for a 524-unit complex there at Clover Hill with pickleball courts, dog parks, and swimming pool. At tonight's meeting, officials chose to table the discussion because only 3 board members were present and they require unanimous vote either way to pass or deny. The exception today, 2 board members were in favor and 1 was against. The Blount County Board of Zoning Appeals meets at 6 p.m. the first Thursday of each month. Now, where it says it got tabled, whenever things get tabled, I think that's when we need to pay attention, because I read some rules that say if something is tabled in a county commission and it stays on the table for 90 days, that it automatically goes into effect as if it was all voted yes for.
Wow. So
Yeah.
wow. So it just sort of gets forgotten about, and then 90 days goes by, and then boom, it's automatic, right?
From what I read, I'll
Okay.
need to dig a little bit more into that, but every which way I read it, that's the way it seemed like, and I guess that's according if they have that rule in effect. You know what I mean?
So,
but I'm sure we could find that out if that is relevant to Blount County, because it seemed like that was kind of rules of order, or Robert's rules, maybe.
Yeah, Robert's rules. Yeah, Robert's rules for sure. Yeah. So,
but yeah, I did see that it was in another instance at another county commission, something that had been tabled and ended up going into effect, and everybody's like, well, what the hell happened with that? Once it gets tabled, that's kind of a way they don't have to touch it again.
Yeah.
They don't have to talk about it. They don't have to discuss it. That's the way they used it anyway.
Right, yeah. It gets forgotten about, and
the
next thing you know, it becomes whatever. Kind of like the Walmart
a
that
lot.
they're building.
Yeah. A lot goes on in 90 days, if you're paying attention to it.
I mean, look what's happened since the primaries. Look what's happened. It's not even been 90 days, right?
No.
I mean, holy cow. You know what I'm saying? Just and during the primaries, I mean, you had the state legislators hand down that new tax appraisal, which the property assessor's office had to pass out to, all of the, the community that owns property, right in the middle of when the commissioners are running for their primary. And like I said, I didn't know if he was a genius or what, but if I was a commissioner, I'd have to ask him what the hell he was doing. So a lot's happened. Then you got the AI data center that was a rumor that's no longer a rumor, and then the Pellissippi Parkway extension. We're not talking about whether it's going through or it's not, because it probably is. It is. We're talking about what's going to be, who's going to pay for it, you and me or the state, like they promised. Again, yeah. Like they talked about in 2011. And if you find out that it gets passed, I would blow up Brian Daniels' phone, because he's was the only one, it says, in favor, and swore that it wouldn't cost us, that the state would take care of it. So, I get it that people don't like it when we talk about stuff like this, because I hear all kinds of good things about Brian Daniel. You get him away from there, he's a nice guy. Maybe, I don't know. But his job is this, and he's failing at it. You know what I mean? He's failing at it because the people in the county don't want these things, and he is finding ways to carry on with, I don't know, whatever it is that they do, that pisses off the community. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
You're still sharing down here. I don't know what you're looking at, but if it accidentally gets popped up, you can.
This
is
the well, it's actually the next one. The TBI investigating Alcoa asked for assistance to investigate some purchasing irregularities.
Was it like a credit card thing or something?
Interview. It says City of Maybe, let's see here. It says City of Alcoa announced it is requesting assistance from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation following an internal purchasing review. The city said during the review, staff found purchasing irregularities that required further examination. The matter was referred to TBI and the Comptroller's Office and the District Attorney's Office. According to the city, the investigation involves a city employee who has already been terminated. At the request of 5th Judicial District Attorney Ryan Desmond, TBI special agents are investigating allegations of theft involving a now former City of Alcoa employee. The TBI spokesperson said at this time the investigation remains active and ongoing. So that's all it is. A City of Alcoa employee could be freaking anybody.
Right.
Could be a teacher, could be a cop, could be a council member,
Highway department,
employee of the city.
Yep.
Vague as hell, yeah.
Yep.
And allegations of theft. Well,
I mean, he put gas in his car while he was putting gas in the truck.
Right.
I mean,
Any way you look at it, if they're a member, they're a member, and it was theft, probably do with money. That's taxpayer money, you know. So maybe we'll find out what's going on there soon.
What's it say? He's doing what his handlers tell him to do. Yeah, I'm sure.
In Blount County, a tabled resolution does not go through automatically after 90 days.
For the commission?
It does not. What happens to it when it's tabled?
Do what? No,
Is there
that
a
no. That's
time
what I
limit
was.
on it?
No, I asked that too. No time limit. I mean, yeah, there is no time limit
No
to
time
bring it
limit.
back.
Okay.
That's what I was just told.
Okay.
Okay. See, that's cool, man.
That's good to know.
Yeah, that's what we want to know.
We like that.
Yeah.
That gets things verified on here.
Yeah, that's why I told him.
So we got Shirley's in the Facebook chat, and James Richards is back. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. And they're all just agreeing
Ron
with
Daniels is doing exactly what the local leaders pay him to do. I would say you are right, Shirley.
Yeah. And then James, he's apologizing for something. I don't know what he did or what he said, but you had to apologize, James. Somebody will correct you. That's how this county works.
He's apologizing for having bad manners. He never said good evening to us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, especially when Robert was reading that article and he was having trouble because the sentence didn't make any sense in the beginning. Yeah. I was going to say, Jason, you should get a hold of their editor and ask them about their grammar, because the people in the county don't like that, do they, Jason?
Well, they like to add to after the fact.
Add to after the fact. Yeah.
It looks way worse on you if they can do it afterwards.
Afterwards, yeah, it looks way worse on you.
Yeah, so they can.
All right, while we're giggling, I'm going to ask everybody out there, if you're watching, hit the like button or the dislike button. I appreciate all the comments, and it's good to see Frankie's in there. I think it's maybe the second time that he was at least on the Rumble chat. He's already got me about talking about Barong. Here we go again. You guys talking about my friend Barong. You know, so we got one more thing to talk about when it comes to, all these people that are systematic failures in their departments. About the investigation. Do you have the article, or do I need to pop it up? Let's talk about that. It's the one where they're investigating what they let the one officer on leave.
Oh yeah.
And then the whole rumor mill that went across Facebook. Shame on you.
Holy Lord. That was a daggone mess now.
Whoever did that, whoever these anonymous people are, I believe that, just my opinion, based off the information that I have, these are friends of commissioners that are running these anonymous and fake page accounts and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. And so it wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't a friend of a commissioner that did that said those things on whatever was it, Maryville Speaks Out or whatever. Shame on you. I like to start trouble and create a little bit of conflict, especially in the chats, that kind of thing, and talk about, stuff that, makes people want to, but I am definitely not, going to say some of the crap that we saw. What'd you call it, Jason? What was that word they keep using?
Herpes.
Oh, that word. Hey, it's odd to me that we had a virus in 2020. So now we got a new virus in 26. It's running through anyway. anyway, you guys saw the disclaimer at the beginning. So anyhow,
we ain't saying anybody specific.
We don't even need it just for this article in its words. We don't need a disclaimer. This comes from Blount County Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
so
read it
they
real
put
quickly.
that out on June 3rd. Maryville, Tennessee, Sheriff James Lee Barong announced that an employee with the Blount County Sheriff's Office was placed on administrative leave Tuesday following multiple allegations of misconduct. Sheriff Barong takes matters of this nature very seriously, remains committed to the high standards of professionalism and integrity. No employee is above the law, and any allegation of misconduct must be carefully examined through the appropriate investigative process.
Well, I like whoever is. Go ahead.
Placed on administrative leave without pay. So
pay.
There's a new detail I did not know.
What, is giving people herpes misconduct?
I don't know.
Well, nobody knows. Nobody really knows if that's what's going on or not. This article certainly doesn't say anything about it.
No. That's not what it's about.
Usually, while investigation's ongoing, you don't get many details anyway because it's ongoing. But that's the rumors anyway.
Right. And they came from anonymous accounts, and they gave names in those anonymous accounts. And, and then it got shared all over, and I just, cool, not cool. It's not cool. We get talked about a lot, and so we understand, but never nothing like that. So,
and it does go on to say, after consulting with Ryan Desmond, Blount County District Attorney General, the Sheriff's Office has opened an internal investigation. District Attorney General Desmond requested the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation further investigate any potential unlawful conduct. We ask the public to allow investigators the time and space necessary to complete their work. Additional information will be provided as appropriate and consistent with the integrity of the investigation.
Well, there's no integrity, because if the rumor's right, there was no integrity. So at all. The fact that this has been an investigation, I can almost guarantee that this was going on during the primaries, and it was kept under the rug until the right time. And I would further go on, whoever the guy that was suspended for, you said he was on administrative leave without pay?
Without pay.
They probably just lost a vote. Was it the DA and the sheriff? You know what I mean? Because they got that vote prior to this, and now after the election. So you probably lose that there. But I'm pretty sure these investigations were carried on, and I got no fact. It's just a hunch that I got. It's a hunch that I got based off the fact that this is a top-down institutional control, and it's the whole flipping justice system over there. You know what I mean? You got the DA, the sheriff, all the black robes, doing their, just doing their thing. And, people go on about it like it's, we live in this. Wow, you did that. I knew you had some kind of control.
Surprise.
So
I just shared my screen.
But yeah. As far as the rumors out there, I don't blame who for them reaching out saying you shouldn't be doing that, but we do have a real serious issue with anonymous accounts on these group pages, all these fake accounts, these, where they so like on mine, on the Resolute page, I can control that. So as soon as I see it, I just kick them to the side. I can hear people say, well, they said something about Resolute. Well, he blocked me. Of course I blocked you. You're a dumbass. You know what I mean? You bring nothing to the comments other than, stupidity and rumors. Those are real rumors right there. You know what I'm saying? Not rumors like if an AI data center's coming to our county or not, or if the PPE extension is going to be paid the right of ways by, the taxpayers. Those things are real things that are happening. You know what I mean? So these anonymous accounts and these these pages that were all made up, and the ones that were made up during the primaries, they're gone now because they were commissioners and friends of commissioners that were having these pages run. They were all being controlled that way, and we know this now. That is no longer a rumor, because what happens is you try to create all these friends in the primaries. Hey, let's do this, let's come together, this, that, and the other. And then when not everybody agrees, well, then you kick them to the wayside. Then what happens is they come and say, this probably wasn't the best way about going about that stuff. So we know these things now. So the anonymous accounts, they should go away. These people that are in charge of these groups, these Facebook groups, they should remove that. You know what I mean? All of us put ourselves in a little bit of a risk for public opinion, right?
Scrutiny,
right?
Yes.
Just by doing this. But you look inside my description, because my Facebook page says Resolute Exposure, but it clearly says my name is Brian Riley. I say it often. My name is Brian Riley. I stand by what I say, and if I'm wrong, I have no problem with being corrected, right? I imagine that, not speaking for Jason and Robert, but they say the same thing or stand by the same thing. Yeah.
My page has my name right on it, Robert Costner.
So, there is no anonymous. There are no fake accounts. There are no fake pages. You know what I mean? I don't, and I'm not going to get involved in that. So, yeah, we're going to remove you.
I speak my mind. I don't give a shit. I don't need no anonymous account to hide behind because I want to say some crazy shit. I just say it.
And look, I mean, we give our opinion about some things. Our opinions don't always align up. I got a good friend on here. Love the man to death. We disagree on Barong. Everything else, we probably, he's a great guy. You know what I'm saying? I just disagree on that specific position, that's been there. But again, we don't do this to each other. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to get on any type of tangent. I'm just trying to say that we do our best to give you guys the truth as the information is given to us, and so and then we give an opinion about it. And if you don't like the opinion, that's fine. But these fake accounts, we don't have any, and we stand by our name. So whether it catches up to us later or not, I guess time will tell. But I feel confident in what I say most of the time. And look, we're goofy. For example, we're not always just about doom and gloom. I want other people to come on that have businesses. Our friend Farah, she has Maryville Billiards and several others. You know what I mean? Maryville Billiards is a nice little joint, nice little hole in the wall. Go to and shoot some pool, have some good food, an adult beverage if that's what you want, that kind of thing. Was it Lambert's Pie? I went there. That place was amazing. You know what I mean? Chapelines. Does anybody eat there? You ever had?
Been there.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Chapelines is amazing. You know what I'm saying? So, the history and the heritage of the county that we live in, this beautiful place that we live in, we're fighting for that. You know what I mean? We don't like the too much of the government. We don't like too much of the of everybody coming here, not enough infrastructure to hold it, those kinds of things. And so, and look, these things that happen in our county are happening too frequently in the last, I would say, 4 years. The officer shootings, or officers being shot, just the grade that the sheriff department brings through the U.S. Census Bureau, you know what I mean, for 10 years was below 50%. These are not things that I make up. These are the research that I did, and it graded every single county in the country, not just Blount County. You know what I mean? So some people don't see these things as an issue. I do. One person should not have that much control for that long, and all of his programs that he has. Some people like him. They think it's a fantastic thing. I don't. the citizens.
I think there's such a hard line on
Yeah.
him because you really don't know unless you've been in a position with them, in a situation, and you've been degraded and your rights has been violated, and you know you've been whooped or beat up or hurt worse than that,
And
you
it
know, lied to, and just run through the ringer over and over. These people ain't never been on that side of
side,
it.
yeah.
That's why they can't understand, and that you always hear somebody always says it. Well, most of the people that don't like him are people that's been in
Right.
trouble,
That's been in trouble,
you
right.
know, and that's exactly where it
Right.
happens at. It
And-
don't happen while he's out here shaking your hand at events and stuff. Of course, you know, if that's the only time you see him and meet him, yeah, great dude. Ain't
yeah.
got nothing bad to say about him.
Right, and I
You
don't
know,
either when it comes to that. But there's a lot of people that approach me and Robert about, hey, all these things that happened to them while they were in jail, or can you guys talk about this kind of stuff like that? And we choose not to, because most of the time someone committed a crime, and then during the crime that they committed, something was violated along the way, right? And so I can't help it. You committed a crime, and so these things happened, whatever. And I don't, whatever the crime may be. Okay, we're talking about the things that happened that there was no crime committed, and the sheriff's department did some things that were unethical, unconstitutional, or whatever, and they did it under the guise of, you know, being the fact that they control what goes on, So
under
that's
the
what I'm
color of
talking about.
law.
Under the color of law. Thank you. I couldn't think of the right name. So
Yeah.
those are the issues that I have. And then you can go even deeper. Look, I'm not afraid to say I spent a few days in jail, which again, what happened to me should have never happened to any human being. You should never be taken out of your home. You should never be, removed from those things without any facts or anything, and then spend 4 days in jail. You know what I'm saying? And so you watch at 50 years old, I watched some of this shit happen from that side of things because I was that guy on the outside going, look, I don't know. And then while you're in there, you find out that for months they didn't have hot water. And until somebody told on them, until it became news, then they stuck his trailer out there that had this humongous water heater on it. And they had to bring the inmates out from each pod, during certain parts of the day so that they could take a hot shower. Now, you might think that they're criminals, so they don't need a hot shower. And that's fine. Your opinion is that. But there's rules.
Fact of the matter is they have rights. There's rules in place,
Right.
that a lot of the times do not get followed, and it's that simple.
I helped build that building. I did trim work and cabinetry. That building's 25 years old or less,
Yeah.
right? So the maintenance on that thing it's budgeted in. The commission, approves that crap. You know what I mean? So my opinion is the water heaters, the water for the jail wasn't as important as whatever was going on to make the sheriff's department look better at that time, because you notice no one came out ahead of that. The sheriff didn't come out, hey, look, we had a mistake. We had some, contractors come in and take a look at this stuff, and it's extremely expensive. We're dealing with the commission. We understand that the inmates don't have hot water, so we brought in this trailer that does this to make sure that they have hot water, right? That would be a transparent, that would be a good sheriff getting ahead of things. But no, it wasn't until somebody bitched and complained about it. They heard it from a tablet, because you get tablets in there now, and you can FaceTime your family members when it's paid and provided for. And he is or she is FaceTiming a family member, and you got 30 inmates talking about how they're stinky and this, that, and the other, because there's fights going on because people will not take a shower. The other inmates are like, I can't be around you. You know what I mean? And so, again, that's done by design. So watch them fight. You know what I mean? Watch them irate with each other.
And you know what doesn't stay broken for 4 months,
What?
4 weeks, or 4 days, or barely even 4 hours. If telecommunications goes down where inmates can't use the phones or anything to contact outside world, because that generates massive amounts of revenue.
Right.
That shit gets fixed very quickly.
So that now that you bring that up, the other thing with that, that there is free programming on those tablets. I was there for 4 days, right? And so Rio Church, you can watch anything Rio Church related on there for free. You can watch them sing their church, this, that, and the other. But it's not like it's all churches in the community, but it's the Rio Church specifically, you know what I mean? Which is involved in, I don't know how they got their, I don't know how they were involved in, being able to put an app on a tablet, so that all inmates specifically watch, that church. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying the tablet's bad. Actually, I think the tablet's not a bad idea at all. You know what I mean? You actually get interaction with your family. I get it. You did something wrong. You're in jail. So, but these are the things that are happening. I watched an inmate inside the intake pod that had mental health issues, that they had him strapped in there to the thing, and he's kicking and screaming. He's naked, where he's thrown crap and peed all over everything and this, that, and the other, because they closed down the mental health facilities in the state, and they're expecting the sheriff's department and the intake deputies and those people to deal with that type of thing, or these nurses and stuff that come in there, that kind of stuff like that. And here's another thing. When I went in there, they gave me a shot. I couldn't refuse it. This shot was to make sure that I didn't get something. I forget what it was, but I argued with them, because once they take you back out of the intake into the pod, you got to take this shot. And I forget what it was for, but it was non-negotiable.
Is it a TB test?
It might be a TB test. No, it wasn't a test.
Shoot a little bubble under your skin.
That they did.
That's a test for tuberculosis, because they're a federal housing facility.
Okay.
So they house illegal immigrants, and they're notorious for carrying tuberculosis virus. So they do that to every single person that comes in. Even if you got arrested 3 months ago and you're coming back in, after so long a time, boom, you're doing it again. Yeah.
But they're making you do that. You know what I mean?
It's mandatory, non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. Yeah. I mean, they can slam you and put you back in that pod, and you'll sit there forever. They don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you don't do that, again, that is something the sheriff's department in the intake, provided it was with a professional medical care person, but still that again, and I understand that's, these things happen, they get out of control back there. But my point to where I was going with this was, there is a lot of things that are broken in that sheriff's department, with the district attorney, with the judges up there. And there's 12,000 people in this community that think that everything is okay, because they've never been on the other side of that. I promise you, if the sheriff's department came to your house and said you had 1 hour and you can only pack this bag and you got to get the hell out, and you got 2 weeks to show up in court, and you did nothing, you did not commit a crime, nothing, because it was based off of somebody's, what do they call it when they go up there and they write their affidavit, right? So
their testimony,
their testimony. So you get removed, and then you have to prove yourself, and then you go before Judge Hedrick to prove that. If you look into some of these laws in that court, which is civil, they're allowed to hand down judgment based off of how they feel and not facts. Again, that's unconstitutional.
It's guilty until you prove your innocence.
Right. And
sometimes you can prove your innocence, and that don't make a shit neither.
My attorney,
you're just there.
My attorney, who cost me quite a bit of money, was fucking flabbergasted. And I told him when I hired him that this judge is biased. They love these things. It's a money racket. You fill the courtrooms every Tuesday and Thursday, man. There's hundreds of people, so many that you can't even go in and sit down. That room is supposed to be open for courts and the public to be able to watch what's going on inside that courtroom. You can't take a cell phone in there with you. You can in Knox County. You can record, from what I understand, but you can't take it in any of these courtrooms inside Blount County. That's another problem for me because you have to file for a what is that? It's a request.
Public records request.
Thank you. A public records request to get that video and that transcript. Well, now it's going to cost you some form of cash to get that. That is mine. That's my case. That is my.
And they can redact. And they can redact whatever they want.
Whatever they want. Again,
say it's because of this reason or that reason.
When I say there's an institutional control issue at the Blount County Justice Center, there is. And there's plenty of proof to substantiate that. And the only way to get rid of that is you have to cut the head of the snake off. That means Barong has to go, these judges have to go, and the DA has to go. Well, they keep telling us you vote them out. Well, that's a damn lie. You can't vote them out. They try to tell me that the voting for sheriff, that the guy that we were promoting, only could get half of what the sheriff got. That's there's 12,000.
And if anybody don't believe. And if anybody don't believe, what Brian's saying about going in there and being able to watch a public court hearing, go into general sessions one morning, damn 9 a.m., go in there and sit down and watch what happens. They're going to ask everybody to they'll call roll. And then after they call roll and everybody raises their hands, they ask if anybody is there for a case that did not hear their name called. And the whole time the bailiffs are watching. Seeing who raised their hand or not. And then after they get through that part, now the bailiff is coming up to the people that ain't raised their hands for nothing, asking them why they're there. Why are you here? Do you have a case? Are you with someone?
Right.
And if it's real crowded, it don't matter if you're there with someone, you got to go. And if you're not there with anyone, you're definitely going.
Yep. Look, I have spent $14,000. And so in the 2 years that I spent that $14,000, I got to learn what happens inside the Blount County Jail, what happens with Blount County Probation Office, which is a whole nother show all by itself. And it's even more corrupt than what goes inside that damn jail center. The things that they're allowed to get away with. This pretrial probation, and it's by consent because they will not let you out of jail with a bond, and you are afforded that right. You're afforded to bond out of jail unless it's some sort of, malicious crime that they, hand things down. But you cannot get out of that jail without a bond unless you sign a pretrial probation, which makes you go to the probation officer prior to your very first day in court, which means once you get to the probation office, the first thing they do is, for me, go in the bathroom, put your dick out, and pee in this cup.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they care
about. Before you're ever convicted.
Before you ever go to court.
Before any proof is ever shown.
Anything.
Up until then, it's your word against theirs.
I argued with them and said, this is not right. They told me you signed. You can either pee in the cup or we'll put you back in jail. So guess what happened? Brian had to go back to jail. So that's where the 4 days came in. I had to go back to jail until I went to court because I argued. This is flipping ridiculous. I have a right to due process. I didn't do anything wrong to begin with. If the sheriff's department had done their job, when the judge handed this order down that removed me from the house, Sheriff Barong should have said, look into this and gave it to whatever deputy because the magistrate handed them out. The magistrate's in charge of one thing. The sheriff's department's in charge of another. They both take oath of office. They take it for the state and they take it for the United States Constitution. When the magistrate handed this down and they looked up and they said, Brian Riley, hell, he ain't been in trouble since his mid to late 20s. The man's 50. No record of the police ever being at his house. No record of this, no record of that. They look at the judge and say, I'm sorry, but I can't serve this. What we'll do is we'll let him know that he has a court date, but we are not removing him from his house. Not at all. And then it says on this piece of paper that this individual that made this hasn't even been there in 6 weeks. So what do? Oh, the magistrates gives it to the sheriff's department. They don't investigate nothing. They show up at my house, remove me. I try to talk to them about what's going on. The exact words from the sheriff was, "Don't shoot the messenger." The first thing he asked me was, "Where was my pistol?" So they removed me from my Second Amendment rights, which I'm still not allowed to have my pistol for another couple years. So again, when I say there's an institutional failure in the Blount County Justice Center, and it's Barong, it's the judges, and it's the DA, it's because I was actually there. I did live fucking research. So, and I did nothing wrong. I did not commit a crime for any of that. Not one crime. Not one crime. You can look it up. It's public record. You can see what they arrested me for since then. But look up what it says prior to that. It goes all the way back. Brian's been a good boy, a tax-paying citizen, this, that, and the other, on the right side of the law, paying that son of a bitch's salary every year, excuse my French, for that shit to happen to me. For these people to get on there and tell me he's such a good man. Sorry. We have
until it happens to them or one of their loved ones,
right?
One of their family members, one of their friends,
right?
They are never going to believe none of it, and it's all just going to be taught from the mouths of criminals. That's the way they look at it.
It's because I am a blue collar worker. I'm telling you, I got $14,000. You know how many vacations I could have took? I could have paid my car off. I mean, that's literally between probation office, court costs and fines, and attorney fees, and my fucking divorce ain't final. So why? It's been well over a year since that's been filed, and there's a whole nother fee for that. Yeah. Yeah, but I have great insurance and everything else, so they just drag that shit along for as long as they can. You know what I mean? So it's because it's all about the money. It's all about the money because I work every single day of my life, then I'll pay the money.
Yep.
Again, look me up. I did nothing wrong. So there's my complaint. That's my problem. And I have a right to bitch about that. And I'll put it out there every single time, and I'll argue with whoever. So he's not the king of this county. He walks around like he's the king of this county because there's a 12,000 voting base for him that give him that. Because the other ones that don't show up to vote, that complain about him or can't vote, that's all they do is complain. So I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to get off on that, but that's the part that made me mad.
It was good. Yeah.
It was good, he said. So
why can't you have a pistol? Why can't you? If you get in trouble with the law, you can't.
No, if I get caught with my pistol now, it's a felony charge.
Is that because it was labeled
an order
as?
Of protection, because it's an order of protection. Yeah, it's an
order
of protection. So they automatically. The first thing he asked for was where my pistol was, and when I told him, he said I either had to turn it over to him or so I give it to my sons. I'll never give it to the Blount County Sheriff's Department. You'll never get it back.
No,
never. So it's in a safe at my son's house. I have no good. See that thing back there? That there, my son, he welded that. Robert said, Brian, we were talking about one day, he's like, I can come over, but you might have to do something with that gun. I was like, wait till you get here and see it. It's a piece of rebar with the cylinder on it. It's an exact replica of a Colt 45. And behind me,
it looks really good.
My son welded at Heritage at welding class. He did a fantastic job. You know what I mean? So, that's why it sits there, because he made that a long time ago. But no, I have to file for, so like it's a year after this goes away. Then you go back to court and you file for whatever paper. But again, I'm at the mercy of this judge that has the right to say you can have it or you can't have it.
And it has all to do with the charge itself.
There was no charge. The charge came after. They summoned you to court. You have to show up at court. So when they came to my house to serve the papers, they told me I had to leave the house so that she could come back, even though she left 6 weeks earlier. She packed her bags and fucking left, right? And so for 6 weeks, I tried to do my best to get things straightened out to come back home, And so she wanted a divorce, but instead of going to file for divorce, she wanted the house. And so her new friends and them decided that the best way to do this is if you file for an order of protection. So what it did was it removed me from the house, even though I did nothing wrong. So when they showed up, I'm like, she's been gone for 6 weeks. She won't come home. His exact words, he threw his hands up, was don't shoot the messenger. They give you 1 hour on
Just
the paper.
following orders.
Right. They give you 1 hour and they give you the paper. It tells you what you're allowed to take. So you're allowed to take like a few days worth of clothes. I mean, it's not like you can load up half of your house, because I could have had a trailer there, loaded up half of everything and walked out the door, but they're there. The law does not leave until you're done. So then I leave and go. You know what I mean? Well, you're not allowed no contact. You're not allowed back at the house, this, that, and the other. And so the Tennessee state law, the order of protection law is it becomes unconstitutional after 15 days. So you're in court within 2 weeks, but they can postpone it. So what do? They postpone it. So you're 2 weeks later, you got 14 days to show back up to court. Because if it's 15 days or longer, because it's called a legal search and seizure. They removed you from your house. So they have this 15-day grace period per the legislation of the state of Tennessee. Look it up. It's the Domestic Violence Act of 1996. And they amend it every single year because they make money off of it like they did for me. Right. So then, so once that happens, then because there's a threat, they can remove you. So then 2 weeks goes by, then 2 more weeks goes by. Now you've been out of your house for a month. Well, then 2 weeks more goes by. Well, I've already bought an attorney. I've been out of my house for 6 weeks. We show up with all the evidence that says what she claims was wrong. She's lying. Go ahead.
And every time you go to court, that's court costs. That's lawyer costs every single time.
Yep. So then after that, he said he would let us know on it's called show. He would show cause. Well, he didn't show cause. And when my attorney asked him about the show cause, he told me that we needed to sit down right there. I asked my son. My son was in the courtroom. He couldn't believe it either. And here's the other thing: when I was in the courtroom, when they were up on the stand talking, because they're the plaintiff and I'm the defendant, right? They're talking. When it was my turn to get on the stand, they brought another cop out and stood beside me. Some big 6'7" dude, all badged up, big, this, that, and the other. And so when I asked the judge, "Is this necessary?" I didn't get an answer. I was told just to keep answering the questions. I'm looking. It's an intimidation move, but I'm not intimidated.
Yeah,
and so when they started asking questions about my gun was not an issue in this. They tried to make it an issue. As a matter of fact, they did make it an issue. They asked me why I carried my gun. She said it didn't surprise her I carried my gun with me everywhere. I carried my weapon with me everywhere. I didn't brandish my weapon, but they tried to make it sound like that I pulled my gun out. But I didn't do anything. But they tried to make this thing about me and my pistol versus that the order of protection was not legal. So when we brought out all our evidence, which totally dismantled hers, the judge is allowed to make a ruling based on how he feels. She made him think that I made her feel threatened, and it didn't matter the evidence that I had. She got it. So that's a year. So in a year, you can't go back to your house. Well, I'm not allowed any of my stuff either. Long story short, it was 18 months before I got my stuff. When the judge gave me 1 day free to go back to my place, which was a year, it was 18 months to go get the rest of my personal stuff, all my personal pictures, everything. I bought everything all over brand new TVs, furniture, brand new place, everything. I mean, so again, tell me, where did the sheriff protect me and my rights? Where did the judicial system protect me and my rights? They didn't. And I didn't mean to make this about me, but that's my beef right there with that place up there. And it wouldn't hurt my feelings one bit if they did the killdozer to the son of a bitch.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't think many would mind that at all.
So just my opinion. And with that, we've been on the show for 2 hours, man. So. And
it's that time once again.
So, but anyway, now there's my story. Everybody knows it. My name's Brian Riley. Go look it up. It's all public record. So you can love me or hate me. I don't care. So I'm not going nowhere. I love what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean?
Catherine says we hear the same stories every single day at our clinic, every day, and worse.
And worse, yeah. Well, again, I got a front row seat to everything that was going on. You know what I mean? So, so before that, I was just like anybody else out there. The sheriff was doing fine, all this stuff. And then when I get thrown in there and I see all this, and I had already done my podcast for a year and a half. So when I went in there, I'm just like, this is everything I'm bitching about, constitutional wise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah. And we get a lot of people that come to us and say, this is what happened. And when we sit down and think about it, when me and Robert and all of us go through it, we're like, well, this was committed first. My case was there was no crime committed. The crime was the sheriff's department showed up and removed me from my house. There's the first crime, unconstitutional. So, yeah. So, all right. I'll leave it at that, guys. Jason's over there yawning, putting him to sleep.
You ain't, no.
So, all right, brothers. I will talk to you later. Tomorrow is Monty Fritz at 7:00. Y'all don't forget about that.
Yes, sir.
Like the show. I'm hoarding for likes, guys, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or Rumble. And hey, every once in a while, if you're watching, if you got two forms of, you got like a tablet and a phone, if you're watching on Facebook, pull up the YouTube and see where it goes. But did you die? Is that the answer, Woody? Did I die? No, I didn't die. It made me stronger. It made me come on here and talk about, the things that the department does. I'm glad you got to hear that. Really do. I'm glad you got to hear that, because that's what happened to me in the last couple of years, man. So
what he's saying is it's all good because you did. I mean,
No, it didn't. No, it's not what he's saying. He said it didn't kill me. It made me stronger. It's right, man.
Yeah.
I'm way better for it. I'm a way better person for it. But I'm also an advocate for that sheriff's department needs to go away. So, and I don't care how many little civil classes you went to or senior outreach programs you're a part of. My wife was a part of all that shit too. Nah. So that being said, peace out. Tomorrow's Monty Fritz, and we'll carry on. You guys have a good evening.
You too, man. We'll see y'all later.
Peace out.
My heart, pumping all day long. Get me the morning when darkness comes. My heart, ooh. I'm gonna pick my bones up and walk through the storm I made. I'm gonna head on home before it gets too late.